What does it take to become a legend? The giffgaff of Legends Tournament. Ranked League of Legends teams battle it out to compete for a prize pool of £10,000. giffgaff Legends Beyond the Rift.
Hello and welcome to this week's Beyond the Rift, the weekly roundup show for the giffgaff Legends Tournament. I'll be giving you all the latest news and best game action from throughout the week. 32 teams are playing for the chance to be crowned the first ever giffgaff Legends Tournament winner and take home their share of a tidy prize pot of £10,000. The top 8 teams will automatically qualify for a place in our Legends Live final, taking place at Insomnia 53 on November the 21st. The eventual winners will go on to the Riot's Four Nations event at the end of the year. You can watch this roundup of the week's action every Friday on our YouTube channel. And you can see the live matches on twitch.tv/giffgaff every Wednesday from 7 PM. Also this week, yours truly gave an interview on how to become a host. Here's a sneaky peek. It is one of the most incredible jobs in the world. Every day is completely different. It's really exciting. You get to meet some incredible people who you would never ever get the chance to talk to, ever. So yeah, it has its highs and its lows, but I think as long as you're honest and you're passionate and you keep pushing forward, you know, your talent and your skills will come through, because really at the end of the day, it just comes down to practice. If you want to hear the whole thing, I mean, it wouldn't, then head on over to our Spotlight section on our esports portal. If you happen to have a passion for dancing or enjoy, you know, just playing with balls, then this week you're in luck. This week's champion spotlight is on the clockwork lady, Orianna. Yes, so check out this quick video to find out just how to get the best out of her.
Orianna, the Lady of Clockwork, is the most consistently picked mid laner in the entirety of competitive League of Legends. Side by side with a floating ball that protects her, Orianna turned from a grieving father's replacement for his lost daughter into a clockwork killing machine. With an emphasis on a safe, reliable playstyle, Orianna rewards patient players who look for just the right opening to strike. Clockwork Windup is Orianna's passive. Your auto attacks deal bonus magic damage on hit, and that increases for subsequent attacks by 20%. This effect can stack up onto a single target up to 2 times. Command Attack is your cue. The ball flies towards a target location within a radius around Orianna, dealing magic damage to all enemies the ball connects with. After reaching its destination, the ball remains in place, providing vision for as long as the two remain within the displayed maximum radius. Orianna's W is Command Dissonance. The ball emits an electrical pulse around itself, dealing magic damage. Allies and enemies who pass through the field left by Dissonance after casting will be sped up or slowed down respectively. Command Protect is your E. The ball is instructed to attach to an allied champion or to return to Orianna, shielding the target and dealing damage to enemy champions it intersects with along the way. The champion the ball is attached to gains bonus magic resist and armor passively. Command Shockwave is Orianna's ultimate. A shockwave is emitted from the ball after half a second, dealing massive damage to enemies within the radius and dragging any enemy caught out by the wave to the epicenter of the blast. The early laning phase is a strong point for Orianna due to her passive. Bonus magic damage makes harassing enemies in the early game very effective. Look to land auto attacks on enemies that are being greedy, or punish melee range mid laners when they step forwards to farm. The strongest part of the overall laning phase is how difficult it is in theory to gank or kill an Orianna. Between your range, ability to farm with a ball from a distance, Command Protect and Summoner abilities, you should be more than capable of escaping almost anything. In the mid and late game, your strength is your team fighting presence and your wave clear due to your damage and again, the increased range from the ball. Comboing Shockwave with a Jarvan Cataclysm or even just on multiple people can win games almost solo. Building Orianna is fairly straightforward. Start the game with a Doran's Ring, 2 health potions and a warding trinket. The next items you want to pick up are an Athene's Unholy Grail, building the Chalice of Harmony component first. You'll farm fairly safely, so boots aren't necessary until your second item, when Sorcerer's Shoes are the best choice. By now you should have the Sweeper Trinket too. Follow up with a Rabadon's Death Cap and a Void Staff before looking at defensive items such as a Zhonya's Hourglass, depending on the opponent's team composition. If the game goes late, Guardian Angel or Banshee's Veil are acceptable final items. Now you've got the know-how to look for the perfect time to strike against your enemies as their time ticks away.
Back to this week's action. We're bringing you a rather perilous lineup on today's show, with Perilous Gaming featuring in 3 out of our 4 games. Yes, so in match 1, All for None and None for All bravely face off against one of the top teams in the league, Team Infused. In match 2 sees Perilous Void go toe-to-toe with the Dream Scheme. In match 3, our perilous journey continues, with Perilous Rift taking on Legaue Legends. And in our final match, we'll bring you a Perilous Gaming Civil War. Yes, Perilous Rift versus Perilous Void. It's a bit of a hunch, but I'm kind of thinking Perilous might win that one. So to our first match, both teams have been on the show before, and this matchup promises to be rather interesting. Team Infused go into this game as the only undefeated team of the tournament, but some last-minute lineup changes promise to make for an interesting match. A win for All for None would see them take a place in our top 8 and are currently on a 2-game winning streak, beating Space Chimps and the Atlas team. The commentators for this match are James Stress O'Leary and Chris Panky Pankhurst.
Zilean is pretty much a counter to everything that Syndra is going to want to do. Zilean has fair range on his auto attacks, he has a lot of harass potential, he can get himself out of situations, dodge the stun fairly easily, and then when you both hit level 6, you want to unleash power. It is the highest burst ability in the game at that point at level 6. Zilean just ults himself. He comes back to life and you're a burst mage with all of your cooldowns unavailable, and he just walks away.
Middle lane, Geobear getting very aggressive, and there as you see it just popping his ultimate. That's the first blood for the ignite tick, but we did see Warwick come around the back. He's changed his mind now that Syndra's dropped down dead and invade from Yi. Warwick going straight top. Seth does get the taunt off, but if he's not careful, that auto attack will get him dead. He does drop down, but Rifty forced to flash under the tower, knocks back Ed Panda, and now Warwick with nothing more is going to have trouble chasing. He flashes forward, does have the blood sent up, but ultimately can't keep the chase going for much longer as Yi is coming up the river. Ed Panda's running low on mana himself. He's got the movement speed, but another knockback from Rifty keeps his distance split up. No more mana. He's going to chase under turret, and he does pull off the Q at range, and Ed Panda gets the kill back for a 1-to-1 trade.
Whether he's mid lane, whether he's jungle, wherever you want to play him. Oh, Infinite Duress.
He's not getting caught out by Infinite Duress. He does get topped down by Ed Panda, but pops the Highlander for the run straight on out of it. Hetchy stops to meditate for a little while, and here's a teleport coming in from Infuse. They've also got Zilean there and Braum, and a quick bait from Wawa turns in a dead Warwick. Now they're looking to dive under turret. Wawa maybe a bit more than he can shoot, but there's a Zilean ult, so it doesn't matter. Does mean it's not there for Bluesy, who's next in. Good proc on that Zilean ult from Wawa, walking into Mr. Smug's damage, but again, it means Bluesy loses his life, so baiting his own team a little bit forward, but the push is still coming. Geobear now looking to go down behind the turret. Mr. Smug is so incredibly low, and you're too close to that Jace. Double bomb does massive damage as Zilean picks up a kill onto Rammus. Follows up with Wawa getting a kill on Morgana. Jace does fall, but Geobear is well inside the enemy base. Does get 2 bombs off, 1 kill Syndra. Will the other be enough? Gibson just about skirts away. We see them grab up that free dragon though. They have decided now to stop being a little bit silly, and they are as 4 members pushing the last remaining inhibitor turret. They're probably going to nuke it down with before anyone from All for None get hits. They're a bit late, but we do see the home guarding Rammus comes out. He goes on to Wawa. We're waiting for the Zilean ult. It has been used. Wawa's looking for the kill onto Seth, so he's very deep, but he's focusing on Rush now. Picks up the first kill, goes of course for the reset. Does go down into the Zilean ult, despite the animations being a little bit off. Now has to back up for Gibson, who is alone under turret. Ed Panda's there trying to finish off Rifty, but he's got Mr. Smug in support this time. They will grab that kill, but they have lost Caitlyn. Now Ed Panda's trying to save Mr. Smug from Wawa does manage it, and it's only Bluesy and Zilean left inside the base. Ezreal had to back away a long time ago. They do grab the turret that they originally came in for. Zeph can't get the taunt off. Ed Panda's there too. Of course, used Infinite Duress a while ago, and that's long off cooldown. And now they do not have the movement speed to chase down Bluesy and Zilean. The Baron is back up, and Infuse are nuking it down. We do see All for None looking to come in and try and disrupt it. At the moment, though, they're being zoned out by just Bluesy, and now they're too late to stop the Baron at all. Mr. Smoke has been exhausted for the slow. Teleport coming in from Seth again too. He's got that home guard up. Wawa has very low health, but is still looking to chase. Of course, the Zilean ult is there. Rush gets a good slow on the Zilean and Rifty, but now we see Rest Infuse funnel through. Good stun. Wawa's going deep though. There's the ult come out. The Ezreal ult from a long range back. Wawa's dropped straight in, and it's a good retreat coming down from All for None. Not much health on any of their members left up, but Wawa's back in again thanks to Highlander. We do see a taunt come down. They're trying to nuke him. Good stun again from Syndra. Some of Infuser is focusing the inhib, but there's so much AoE damage. Rifty goes deep, does cleanse the taunt, does get one kill, but then he's dropped by Gibson. Now this top inhibitor has fallen down to Super Creep. The middle inhibitor's gone to the rest of Infused that are alive, and they're looking to end the game where they stand. 3 members of All for None left to try and defend this. Another Zilean ult in there this time comes out, but it's not going to save you from the fountain. Wawa drops. Ezreal finishes off a turret in the backside though, and Infuser looking to back away now that they lost that big damage source. Bear still looking for that extra double bomb onto Gibson. Bluesy gets taunted in towards the turret. Ezreal follows him up. Seth is taunted, stunned, and it will drop down to the stun passive. And Ezreal, Bear bound up. Turret has fallen. Nexus is exposed. The Mush and Gibson combo worked in the bottom lane, but they're not going to defend the Nexus. Down he goes to a double bomb on the fountain. Infused are looking to take this game right here, right now. It took them 35 minutes, but it was close. They had a little bit of luck around in the middle. They have got Ed Panda back up, and another Zilean ultimate. This cooldown is tiny, and the minions are going to finish it off ultimately as they toy with All for None on the fountain. GG, well played. Well, ultimately Infused showing us why they are third on this ladder.
Yeah, although I guess the different lineups made it a lot closer than I think Infused were planning on it being, but there were moments where All for None showed us exactly why they're creeping around the bottom side of that ladder. The Baron call was good.
Yes.
The Baron call, I think a lot of teams wouldn't have made that Baron call as well.
No.
A lot of experienced teams would have said, hey, let's turtle, we need to get the vision, don't do anything rational.
Can you say alliance? It is a very well-known fact that a Froggen, as the Shockruler of Alliance, loves to play the safe game and wait for his opponents to make mistakes instead. That is no secret, and it works very, very well for him. That's why they won the last split.
So a win for Team Infused, but All for None certainly gave them a game. Let's hear from the winning captain from Team Infused, Wawa. Thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Yo.
Tell us a little bit about the match.
Well, it was kind of just a last-minute arranged thing. Like, we knew we couldn't get our full roster on, but my girlfriend was willing to play, and so was our manager.
How was it playing with Bluesy and Amy?
Yeah, Bluesy tends to feed an awful lot. That's why he's the manager, I guess, and not the player for us.
What are your predictions for the tournament?
Well, in terms of the online ladder, I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out, because it's a case of if teams will actually accept challenges from the top teams, like as mistakes are made, FM and Rift. But I think we're confident in like top 2 finish on the ladder at least. Like, we're 1 point behind FM at the moment on there, and I think we've played 1 less game than them.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now on to our second match this week. It features Perilous Void versus the Dream Scheme. Perilous Void convincingly beat Cheeseburger Apocalypse and will be looking to carry that momentum into this game. The Dream Scheme are on a little bit of a losing streak, having recently suffered defeats to some of the top teams in the league. Let's find out what happened with commentary from Komalala.
Here in the mid lane, Ari gets taunted by Ramus, but here comes Jarvan to try and help her out. They're going to focus Ziggs. He takes quite a bit of damage, also getting slowed due to the red buff. They're going to try and get away. Ari misses the Orb of Deception heal used by Ziggs. Going to focus Ari, and Ramus picks up that kill for himself. In the end, Jarvan just going to escape. Ari sitting here in this bush. She goes right in onto Ziggs, gets like Ignite down as well, but he uses Flash and Heal over the wall. Ari going to try to follow up with Spirit Rush, dives him under the tower as well. Ram's trying to come from behind, but it's too late. Jarvan comes along as well, uses the Cataclysm, and gets the kill for himself. Ari here in the mid lane. The Satchard goes down to her, but she gets taunted as well by Ramus. Megan Farno Bomb as well being used. Ramus so low. Ari trying to get something, but it's too late. Ziggs gets that kill for himself. Here, Perilous Void trying to go for Dragon, but Ramus is coming in to try and get that steal. TP being used as well. Ramus gets the steal in the end. Ari trying to focus Ramus. He's trying to get out. He falls to Graves in the end. So does Ziggs, and Jace knocks back Zyrelia. In the top lane, Ari spots out Jace, gets a kill so quickly. So much burst coming out. Ramus has to back off. Down the bot lane, 80 carries go head to head. Jarvan coming along this side. He's in a really bad place right now. Cataclysm locks him down, uses that Relentless Pursuit. Doesn't matter. Graves gets that kill in the end. Aurelia trying to get away. Gets taunted by Ramus, trying to go back in, but falls to Ziggs in the end. Here in the bot lane, Graves taking really low to a lot of damage. In the mid lane, the Dream Screen pushing up this tier 2 tower. Jarvan looking for the engage, decides to go and gets taunted by Aramis. Jace taking quite low. Cataclysm is being used, locks down Thresh into it as well, but so much damage coming out. The Monsoon used to try and heal the team. Ari's left as well, but she's too late, can't really do anything. They're trying to chase them down, but it's a really bad idea. Culling also used to do a good bit of damage. They're gonna just try and go back in for this tier 2 tower. It is so low, and Lucian picks that up for his team in the flash and go right in for Janna, and she falls to Ziggs. Their Dream Scheme looking to push in that inhibitor turret, and Perilous Void trying to defend this off. Meanwhile, Ramus gonna go in the top lane, but so much damage goes down into Lucian. He has to back off, and so does the rest of the team. But Ari's gonna try and chase this down. So is Jarvan. Flash being used. She goes right back in, gets that kill onto Lucian. Thresh in a bad place right now. He's gonna take a lot of damage, and Graves gets himself that kill. Here in the jungle, Perilous Void standing at the side, decide to go right in. So much burst damage being used. Irelia uses Transcendent Blades. Here comes the rest of the Dream Scheme. They're gonna chase down Perilous Void. They're gonna try and escape as well. Acceleration Gate helps them speed up. So many members low, but they're going to focus the dragon instead. Ari decides to go with the Spirit Rush, but she falls to Lucian in the end. Exhausting put down to Jace. Dragon goes to the Dream Scheme. Irelia spots out Jace. She's going to try to go in. She stuns him down as well. A lot of damage coming out and gets that kill due to the Transcendent Blades. But meanwhile, the Dream Scheme are Perilous Void, are going for the Baron. The Dream Scheme standing alongside, waiting for this, trying to get a steal. Flash into the Baron pit by Ramus, and the Mega Inferno Bomb does so much damage, but the Baron focuses Ramus. Ari gets that kill in the head. Death Set is used. They pick up Baron for themselves and decide to go in onto Thresh. He falls in the end. Perilous Void going to back off, but they spot out Ramus in his own jungle. He's going to use the Powerball to try and get away. He's being slowed as well at the same time. Cataclysm locks him down. Ari gets herself that kill. Jace gets spotted out as well. Ari doing so much damage. Mega Inferno Bomb being used yet again. Collateral damage by Jace. He flashes in to get that kill onto Ziggs. He's going to focus Lucian now. Gets himself a double kill. Thresh has to flash over the wall, but he gets spotted out, and that's a triple kill for Graves. And also a Baron buff for Perilous Void. Here they are pushing that inhibitor turret in the bot lane. They're going to get it as well. They're going to focus the inhibitor. Set timers are quite high on the side of the Dream Scheme. It's going to be quite a while before they get up there. Just going to go right for those Nexus towers. Ramus is the only one available to try and defend, but he's taking too much damage as well. It's too dangerous for him. He goes right into everybody. So much burst takes him down in the end. The inhibitor, the Nexus towers fall, and eventually the Nexus.
A win for Perilous Void there, which sees them continue their good run. Let's speak to the team captain, Flash My Tash. What a great name. First of all, tell us about the match.
Going into it, I knew their mid laner, AJ Morgan, previously because I used to be on a team with him. I've played with him for Insomnia 51. So going into the match, we sort of had an idea of what he played. We knew what we wanted to pick going into it. And it was a really close game until around the 31-minute mark. And then we got a good fight. We managed to snowball it really quickly and ended the game in about 10 minutes after that or so. So it was a pretty good game by us. I'm pretty happy with it.
Were there any standout players?
I mean, overall, I think all of our team played pretty well. I don't think there was anyone that particularly stood out for either team. It was fairly standard all around.
Any predictions for the tournament?
I'd like to say we'll get top 8. I'm fairly confident I'll get top 8, but you never really know. After that, really, I'd like to get top 4. I think that would be the main goal. There's a pretty solid top 4 in the UK, and I feel like if any team could break into that, I definitely think we'd be one of the contenders.
Thanks so much for talking to us. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Our third match this week features Perilous Rift versus Barama Legends. Perilous Rift are sitting comfortably in the top 8, while Barama Legends have been a little less fortunate of late. With commentary from Komalala, here's how they got on.
Lucian and Johnny in the bot lane. They go right onto Graves, doing a good bit of damage. The Howling Gale knocking two of them up, but here's Kha'Zix exhaust down onto Lucian. He's trying to get away. He flashes and heals, but he's stunned. That first kill will go to Kha'Zix. Now Janna in a really bad situation right now. She's trying to get away. That will be a double kill for Kha'Zix in the end. Syndra pushing this tier 1 tower here in the mid lane. Here comes Kha'Zix with the Void Assault, jumps right in onto her. Exhaust being put down, she flashes away. That's one kill for Ahri. Here comes Pantheon, way too late to the party. He's going to try and focus Kha'Zix. He gets charmed. That will be a double kill for Ahri in the end. Kha'Zix getting spotted out in his own jungle. Scatter Reed stuns him, and Unleash Power doing so much damage. Gives Syndra that kill. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they're going head to head. Lucian taking a lot of damage. Glacial Fissure misses him. He's trying to kite away, uses the culling to do some damage. Flash and collateral damage used by Graves to get that kill. They trade 1 for 1. Braum now in a sticky situation. He gets CC'd down so much. Monsoon knocks him back in the other direction. The Unbreakable denies some damage been put onto him. The chase is going on. Here comes Syndra. The Scout of the Week gets that kill in the end. Recalling in a bad place, gets spotted out. 3 people are chasing him down now. It's gonna end up getting taken out by Kha'Zix. Meanwhile, both mid laners going head to head, but the Unleashed Power doing so much damage from Syndra gets herself that kill. The bot lane, they're going head to head yet again. Graves taken so low. Might not want to walk right back in again. The Relentless Pursuit comes out, and the Piercing Lightning, the double shot in the end, picks up that kill for Lucian. Riven recalling again in a bad place. Here comes Kha'Zix to join Maokai, and it gives him that kill. Riven running around in the enemy jungle, gets spotted out by Arians, taking a lot of burst damage. Barely has any time to react. He gets that kill onto Kha'Zix. Again, the bot lane, they're going head to head, but Syndra spots out Kha'Zix yet again in the enemy jungle. She's doing so much damage, gets that ignite down, gets that kill as well. In the bot lane, Lucian being focused down. Pantheon uses that ground skyfall. Lucian's so low, he's trying to get away, but Graves is trying to chase him down. Janna gets herself the kill. Now Braum is trying to get away. Flash being used by Janna to avoid that charm, but Ahri Spirit rushes over the wall right into Riven. He's trying to get away, has to use a flash as well, but she will fall in the end. Now Maokai and Braum trying to get away. Howling Gale knocks up Maokai actually. Here comes Pantheon as well. They're going to focus all their attention onto Maokai. He's such a tank, so it's going to take some while for him to fall, but he does eventually to Pantheon. The members are trying to get something, but they end up stealing the blue buff in the end, walking away. Janna goes right in onto Graves, misses some the Howling Gale, but the TP's coming in from Maokai. The Glacial Fissure also used Monsoon used to try and heal up her team, but it's so much coming out from Maokai at the moment. He's focusing 3 people on his own. Meanwhile, Lucian is focusing Braum. Maokai trying to get away, but he ends up falling to Pantheon. The top lane, Syndra solo. Kha'Zix gets off that kill. Perilous Rift are going to be able to pick up that tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Syndra gets the Scout of the Week down onto Maokai, but she uses the Unleashed Power onto Ahri. She gets exhausted down. They trade 1 for 1, both mid laners. Meanwhile, Riven and Lucian in the bot lane are pushing that tier 2 tower, and Legaue of Legends are trying to defend their own base. There's a lot of pressure being put down. They're going to get that tier 2 tower in the bot lane. They're going to continue to push into this inhibitor turret. Riven over the wall in a really bad situation, gets locked down by the Twisted Advance, gets exhausted as well at the same time, but the rest of the team are trying to help her out. Monsoon used to heal up the team. Riven goes right back in, Pantheon gets a kill onto Kha'Zix, but Riven trying to do some damage. There's a double kill for Lucian in the end, same with Pantheon. Are the only one left to try and defend the base, but she won't be able to. The death timers are quite high. They're going to chunk away at those Nexus towers. A couple of taunts coming out as well from the team. That's 1 Nexus tower down. Death timer is still a bit high. Good few seconds left on members of Legaue of Legends. Ahri trying to do something, but she's got to be careful. Has to flash into her own fountain. It's just a matter of time before Perilous Rift just take down the Nexus.
A win for Perilous Rift there. Bad luck, Barama Legends. Let's hear from the captain of Barama, Volcano now. Take us through the match.
So Perilous Rift are known to be one of the top teams in the UK. So it was quite exciting that we could play against them and sort of get an idea of how we match up against them, sort of see the kind of things that they do well, things that we could improve on, sort of what we could learn from them basically. And I don't think we played too badly against them, but there were a few sort of like problems with our, like, I think we could have chosen a better team comp and maybe played certain situations better, but it showed what we needed to improve on, and it was a very good learning experience playing against such a good team.
How did you prepare?
So we usually prepare for matches by looking at the team's rank 5 histories and then seeing what sort of their main champions are, so trying to gauge what kind of team comp we might put together, what our bans are going to be, and then just go from there.
Were there any standout players?
On the Perilous Rift, I remember their mid laner being very good, and I thought their top laner was very good as well. But I think generally their entire team was solid, and they worked very well together, which was quite impressive.
How's the tournament gone so far for you?
Tournament's been going better. We've started. We've been trying to climb back up a bit more. We've got a game later versus Electi, where if we win, we might go over 500 again, which would be very good. So it puts us in good stead for the last week to try and make it into the top 8.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll speak to you soon. Despite losing that game, we saw some impressive play from Barama Legends jungler, No Problem, ending the game with an impressive 5 kills. If you've ever wondered what it was like to hang out in the jungle, this handy guide will explain it all.
Jungle is perhaps the most influential role in the game, as your presence around the map can win or lose the game for your entire team. The top junglers right now are Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Jarvan and Rengar. Current jungle meta requires a lot of early trading strength to ensure you don't fall behind in the jungle early. Pick up a hunter's machete and 4 health potions to start the game. Deciding on which side of the map to start on depends on if you're able to kill the first buff camp alone or if you need a pull from your bottom lane. The safest start for a solo queue game is to begin with the buff on the side of the map with your duo lane. That's red camp for blue side and blue camp for red side. On your first recall, swap the machete for Spirit Stone on junglers like Lee Sin, Kha'Zix and Jarvan, or for Madred's Razor on Rengar. Upgrade the items to Spirit of the Elder Lizard and Wriggle's Lantern respectively for more damage. Continue your chosen build path, building a mix of damage and tank items to ensure you survive throughout mid-game fights. In the early game, your role is to look to influence any lanes where the opponent is overextending and put pressure on the enemy laners to burn summoner abilities and get kills if possible. Look to time your jungle routes around your blue and red buff timers. Remember that each buff has a timer in-game now, which you can access by holding tab. Other timers to play around are Dragon and Baron. These are crucial to securing a lead or preventing an opponent from snowballing their lead. When smiting objectives, left click on the objective to view its health bar and hover over your smite when not under pressure to see the amount of damage smite will do. Remember to clear out vision of an objective before starting it to reduce your opponent's chances of stealing it away. Keep in mind that your job isn't necessarily to win lanes for your teammates, and neither is it to stop your team losing lane, more to exploit your opponent's mistakes in positioning to build an advantage for your team as a whole. Playing as the jungler is one of the most difficult parts of League of Legends, but hopefully this will give you the very basics of the role.
Our fourth and final match comes from another one of the live stream games from Wednesday's show. Perilous Rift take on Perilous Void. With us getting close to the end of the qualifiers, a loss from either team would leave them in a perilous position in the league. Rift go into the game as favourites, but a loss would see Void replace them in the top 8 and leave them with a lot to do to qualify. Let's find out how they got on with commentary from James Stress O'Leary and Chris Panky Pankhurst.
A little bit more aggressive coming out from the Rift side of things, keeping that Ignite over the Exhaust on Flash Matash's side.
Yeah, so Corki Morgana has a fair amount of damage in that bottom lane. Corki's Phosphorus Bomb is going to deal a lot of magic damage. There's a lot of mixed damage in that bottom lane as well. So even though you'll utilize or build towards armor from your runes and masteries, typically magic resist is a little bit more lacking in that bottom lane. So it's a teeny bit more kill potential, and even more so now that the Ignite has been picked up. Exhaust isn't going to be too much of an effect because Corki is going to unload a lot of his damage up front. There is going to be a little sustain though. It's not going to be quite as much, but from the Relic Shield, it's a little bit more than Morgana.
Oh, hook his hand in onto beautiful little thread the needle onto Corki, and down goes Corki. Sir Scott for first blood. That was absolutely incredible from Flash by Tash. Ari, again, she's done this once. Misses the charm, and in fact misses both directions of the Orb of Deception. Ignite's been used. Only 2 charges of Spirit Rush left does. You land the second Orb of Deception. There's the ult comes out from Lulu. Lulu gets charmed up and it's still running, but will drop down. Took her time with it, but Ari, an easy 1v1 kill. And we're seeing the bottom lane again. Oh, binding misses, but that's a lot of burst damage coming from Corki, and he will finish off Lucian. Not enough health left for Thresh to finish him off, but another good TP from Rise. No, he ran. Here he did TP this one. Wow, that's a short cooldown. Comes down in to finish off Corki. Might have been off more than he can chew though, as Kha'Zix and Jace are here. Will he finish? Oh, not quite finishing off Morgana. Did get stunned at the last second. But Jace starting to grab some kills. Might get back into this game if this keeps going.
And that's really the first time Rift have traded even and explosive in that situation. A little bit wrong place, wrong time. He was a little bit out of position in that fight. Thought he could make a lot more from it than he actually ended up being able to.
We do see Rift perhaps staying more than they should down here. Morgana's the focus, but the heal comes out to keep her alive. Rise is now being focused down by Rift. They pick up the first kill. Kha'Zix going to reset. Flash forward towards Lucian, but he can't quite get the kill. And now he's been exhausted. Flash away from Lucian, but Sir Scott picks it up. Now Lulu's there with the ultimate. Keeps him alive from Jarvan. Triple kill for Corki. Kha'Zix just about dies. But it's going to be a quadra kill for Corki. And only one member goes down on the side of Perilous Rift.
I guess that's why the Corki was the first pick. There we go. We finally got the Corki into the game, and he goes from being 2-3-1 to 6-3-1, and now the pushing potential is on. Tower goes as well. They're going to follow it up, and I don't really think Ari wants this without the charm.
She does miss the charm, and that allows Corki to Valkyrie forward with a red buff. And Lulu steals his unofficial penta, but doesn't matter. This is a team game and an objective game, and that's a free tier 2 turret in mid and now bottom, all because Ari just wasted a charm and went way too close. Don't know if they know where Rift are heading. They are looking for a beeline onto this top inhibitor turret. They've got minions up there. Looking for Rise. Over goes Corki, trying to bait Rise to fight him, but it's not going to work. And he's just going to focus down the inhibitor, using those rockets to proc his fate.
They're
the Thresh is coming around behind. So is Jarvan. They're looking to try and focus onto Sir Scott, but it's not enough. First person down is Jarvan, despite being the engager. Turret does die somewhere in the middle. Now we see the focus being onto Thresh, who is also in the backside. Very, very deep went Jace, but he picks up the kill on Ari despite dying to the Nexus turret. Now Rise has come back out with Home Guard. He's looking to try and pick up a kill, but they focus down the inhibitor, and he's been silenced, and Glitterlance slowed. He falls under his own Nexus. Sir Scott is still incredibly strong, but has no health left. Thanks to minions killing mid-turret, they're looking to focus a second inhibitor. This one's for the middle lane. Poking Lucian down from range, and even though there's no health left, 4 members of Rift are more than enough to scare away the single Lucian. They won't be enough to end. They are going to have to back out, but 2 inhibitors is a great haul from that snatch and grab.
From what should have been a great flank there from Jarvan, the timing was off, and it just turns into a 2 inhibitor size gift for Perilous Rift at this situation.
Still only 29 minutes in, that's not very long. The average game in the LCS is about 34 minutes, if I remember correctly. There's still a long way to go before we hit true late. Ari does get a charm and a DFG straight on to Kha'Zix, but the Lulu ult is there to keep him alive. She does use those charms away to get to safety as the rest of Rift were there in support. But it's a nice try from Void. They're still trying to get that pick, still trying to get that numbers advantage. She doesn't have the damage to burst through them anymore. They're so much stronger than before. Kha'Zix has a Ghost Blade, which is new for me to see on a Kha'Zix.
Yeah, he picked this up a little bit back, and that is not a good error to spot out at this point in the game.
We knew the spectate servers were having slight issues. Unfortunately, however, that's not one we could have completely predicted. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say congratulations to Perilous Rift, because I'd be very surprised if that game went any other way. They were playing very, very well at that point, had the 2 inhibitors down, but that is just me making a guess. We'll grab some confirmation from some admins in a moment, as they were 3 minutes ahead, of course, and that's just spectate data. The game was still progressing after that, so they may not even be finished.
They may not be finished. That would be the best case scenario, because we can just rejoin. Hopefully that will be the case. But at the same time, this is an error that unfortunately does crop up from time to time, especially when servers when a new patch is released, it looks like, unfortunately, the game did end. It's
probably why the error came up. As
Yeah.
the game ended, Spectate decided, right, that's it, game's finished, don't see anymore, and kicked us on out. So we'll have a quick look down. Let's have a look at this stats page that's here in front of us and see exactly how things ended off. There's not many more kills than we were on. It's only about a minute later.
Yeah.
So that push, that bottom lane push that Rift were doing as we lost vision, kind of ended the game.
It's unfortunate that we didn't see it, but it does say something that Rift didn't decide to go and do Baron.
Yeah.
And then push. It's a decision that teams kind of have different opinions on.
We know Dignitas love to do it.
Well,
Sorry.
the old team. I mean,
old
it's
team.
a very
There is.
different
I'm
lineup.
hearing a lot of rumours about some very exciting announcements from Dignitas.
Unfortunately, we were unable to bring you the final moments from that game, but Perilous Rift took home the victory in what was a very even affair. Let's hear from Perilous Rift's AD carry, Sir Scott. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
So that quadra kill you had seemed to really change the flow of the match.
I could say quotation marks abusing Corgi because Corgi's very strong AD carry right now. And I don't think many people realise, but everyone thinks that Lucian is the strongest lane in AD, but I think that if played correctly, Corgi can easily dumpster Lucian. That's the main reason. And especially getting that quadra kill, it would just set the tone for the game. Being Corgi going into mid game with being that strong is just it's simple to close out the game.
I mean, how do you prepare for playing against your sister team?
It was a good game. Like we always have fun playing against our B team. It's like or A team, whichever you want to call it. Because I mean we're all friends, you know. So it's always good fun to play against your sister team. And we came out on top, which is really good, which is what we expected ourselves and what we want to do. So yeah, that's a good thing.
So, have you got any predictions for the tournament?
It's hard to say. I predict that it's either going to be us or FM coming first. It's my personal opinion.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. This match took home our coveted Play of the Week award for Sir Scott's Corki Quadra Kill. Perilous Void pushed the bottom tower. Morgana baits what Perilous Void will think will be a 2 versus 3 team fight, when in fact 2 more Perilous Rift members are following up from behind. As Corki enters, he uses heal to keep Morgana alive and gives the surrounding team members a much needed speed boost to get into the fight. Corki uses the lack of focus on him from Perilous Void to position himself well to obtain a well-deserved quadra kill, which completely turns the game around after a shaky laning phase from Perilous Rift. Well played, Sir Scott. Definitely. This week has been a busy week with a number of games played. We've already seen 2 victories for Perilous Rift, a win for Perilous Void and Team Infused. Elsewhere in the league, Ledge status continues to go to FM Esports, who are only a point ahead of Team Infused in second. Best College UK continue their slide from the top and find themselves in 3rd place. London Conspiracy continue to hold 4th place. After their win against Perilous Void, Perilous Rift find themselves in 5th place and must be dreaming of a trip to Coventry later this month. You what mate, Perilous Void and Risky Recalls currently fill the last 3 qualifying spots, but are looking over their shoulders at Helix Guitar Gaming and Electi. Next week is our last week of qualification, so there's still loads to play for. Why not tweet us your league predictions using the hashtag giffgafflegends. If you want to follow the action during the week, just visit the esports portal at esports.giffgaff.com. This week we're featuring tournament admins and referees, so if you're interested to learn more, go check it out. What are you waiting for? Well, that's it for this week. There'll be more match highlights next week, and don't forget to catch the live stream on Wednesday from 7 till 9 on twitch.tv/giffgaff. I'll see you on the Rift.
Ha ha ha!